And we're live again. And right before we went live, to quote my good friend Norm, Tim, pick the crap out of your teeth because I'm actively trying to eat my lunch, my Chick-fil-A. And I guess that's rude to have chicken nuggets hanging out of your teeth when you're on a Facebook Live, but I don't know, Norm.
How about the beard?
It's 2021. Well, when you get food in your beard, you're just saving it for later.
Yeah, I do. But what's really awkward is when young children are caught in my beard and I find them a day or two later.
Yeah. When you've got birds' nests and kids and, I mean, I guess they got to eat too. I don't know. That's a weird way to start.
They ate the nuggets.
That's it. So let's talk about one of the biggest annoyances that I have in the entire digital marketing, e-commerce, whatever space, right? And that annoyance to me is sales volume. Now, let me give you a scenario, and then I want to hear your first reaction on. I say that sarcastically. I hate when somebody says, "Oh, e-commerce is great. I made $100,000 this year." You go, "Really?" And you see their sales of $100,000. What does that make you think? Did they make $100,000?
They made crap.
Probably. They might have made something, but I know they didn't make $100,000.
And that's one of my biggest pet peeves as well, is that you go and you listen to somebody on stage and they come out waving their paycheck that they made, whatever. That's not how you calculate it. That's your revenue.
Yeah. When I think of making something, I think of creating something, right? And let me back up for all of you that are popping and listening. We do have a valid point to this. And that point is important because a lot of people get discouraged. They get false hopes. They get a false sense of security, right? But let me back up. When I make something, I am creating it. If I say I made $50, then I generated $50. Like I created a new $50 I didn't have. In my opinion, if I go out and buy a bunch of inventory and sell $1 million worth of stuff on Amazon, I didn't make $1 million. What I made is the profit that was generated from all of that. Like, what did I actually create that I didn't have before? Right? Selling and making are two different things. And a lot of people claim that making and selling are the same thing. And it makes the marketing really, really punchy. Like, oh, I made $1 million last year. Well, it's not always the case. Norm, I know that you and I have talked about this a lot. Where do you think that gives people false hope or false sense of security when it comes to whatever it is, selling, running a business, marketing, anything?
One of the things I think about is these false expectations. So you hear about, sellers selling $1 million, a year, but what did they really make? And also it's very deceiving because let's say that you come into the e-commerce market, you hear all these claims and you want to retire or not retire, but go from your day job over to selling online. It can really hurt you if you don't understand exactly what this is costing you. Tim and I talk about this quite a bit, but really getting to know your numbers. I just want to give one example. I know I've talked to him about this before, but one of my clients is a $10 million client. It's actually a much higher right now, but when they came to us, it was $10 million. When we looked into their numbers, they had lost $100,000 the year before. But just imagine being able to go out there and say, hey, we made $10 million. Well, whoop-de-doo. You're not going to see Lamborghinis there. Anyways, Tim, I don't know if you have anything further to say about that.
Yeah, I took myself off the screen because I'm eating. But
let me just get something too, and I'll just so we can both chomp at the same time.
Mm-hmm. But I think it's important to talk about this because e-commerce is awesome, right? Entrepreneurship's awesome. It really is. And I see a lot of people coming in with poorly managed expectations or a false sense of what success is. And the problem is they get discouraged. Like, this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It is work. Now, I do see people all the time that are cashing out for millions of dollars after 3 years of building this business. It's great. There is legit money to be made there. But if we have kind of a misinformation about what success is, it makes it more likely for us to run down the wrong path, or it makes it more likely that we're going to get discouraged when things don't go well. Because I don't know anybody that actually made money in their first year of selling online. I know a lot of people that broke even and learned a lot and got some reviews and some sales velocity and all that stuff, which is valuable. They didn't actually profit, right? I do see people that jump in, they quit their day job before they even get started, thinking, oh, if all these other, jabronis out here made $1 million, I can do it too. I think it's bullcrap. So, I don't want to be discouraging and say you can't make money online, but I do think that we do need to understand what's realistic to expect. That way we can plan accordingly and we don't get discouraged when something doesn't happen. Norm, do you want to pick on anybody for a second?
What do you mean by pick on anybody?
Well, you told me, you said, Tim, looking on this live, you can't necessarily like call anybody out. I said, okay, but without calling somebody out, what if we give an example of manipulating the system? Can I share that example? For some reason, so YouTube, if I go to YouTube right now, I get all their pre-roll, right? Mm-hmm. Every single Amazon seller guru is out there, and it's all the same thing: how to make money quick. And like you said, it's so important that you treat this as a business. You're building a brand. You're investing your time and money into the proper architecture or infrastructure so that you can build out the brand. And like John Hefner from Thrasio was on the podcast yesterday, and he was talking about going in red. You're going to go deep. If you're going to go deep into a brand, you're not dipping a toe into it. You're jumping in with 2 feet. You're going to go red for a while until people get to know you. But there's the right way and the wrong way of spending money too, right? Like you can go out and spend a ton of money on Fiverr that gives you really crappy. I'm not going to say everybody on Fiverr, but let's say you go for photos that are horrible, or you decide to do it yourself. Doing things yourself, copy or photos. If you're a good copywriter, Tim, you are an excellent copywriter. I suck. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. So spend money there. Understand and build that into the cost of, what you're looking at. These Lamborghinis that you see and people, just flashing cash is not the case. You can make money here, but you want to have a spreadsheet and trap all the cash. Chelsea Cohen's got a great app called SoStocked, and you are allowed to punch in all the information there, and it gives you a really good description of where you're at, because you're punching in all the fees that you've missed on Amazon or your landed costs. What are your landed costs? Take in effect your HTS tax. Are you doing that? And is your HTS tag or HTX tariff, is it proper? Can you save money there? So that's another thing that we talk a lot about, Tim, is, all right, you've got your costs, but where can you save money? Your first product, you are going to pay your Amazon tax. Get used to it. Which is education. Amazon tax is mistakes.
Right, just mistakes. And then after that, you can refine it. And this is where I find that you make money. You got to push through the first phase. Second phase is, how do I refine? So I don't know if you want to talk about refining some cost and profit.
Well, actually, you didn't answer my question. Can we pick on people? I think I want to pick on somebody for just a second. But for those of you that just joined, I see several more of you just joined. What we're talking about is this bullcrap idea of how much I made, how much money I made. I made $1 million by selling $1 million. It doesn't actually mean that you generated $1 million. And the reason we're saying it's important is because we have to manage expectations. We have to realize that success may look like a year without profit, right? Success, some of those successful brands and business owners that Norm and I know, they might have spent 2 years with no take-home cash because things were so lean, they just kept reinvesting in the business. And that these poorly managed expectations lead us to frustration a lot of times. So to pick on somebody, right, not an individual, I want to talk about ClickFunnels for a second. I'm not saying that everybody that uses ClickFunnels or that ClickFunnels crap. I think there's a lot of good marketing material, but I just want to give you an example of how easy it is to game the system in showing big numbers. So ClickFunnels has this award, and I know a lot of people have legitimately won the ClickFunnels award, right? And the award that they have is called the 2 Comma Club. And the 2 Comma Club is basically an award where they recognize you if you've created $1 million in sales on your business, right? And $1 million in sales on an e-commerce site, like through ClickFunnels, is pretty impressive. And if you can show them that you have generated $1 million in sales on their site, they put you in this 2 Comma Club. They give you an award, and then you can take that out and use it to promote your digital agency or your course or whatever it is, right? It's pretty cool. I used to go to all the ClickFunnels events, and I found out there's a way to actually get on stage without having to actually sell anything. And here's what you do. When you set up your ClickFunnels account, they make you use a credit card processor, typically Stripe. They have a pretty good affiliate deal with Stripe. If I apply and say, hey, I've hit my $1 million in revenue, I want my award, the only things you have to verify is your Stripe transaction. Say, look, I transacted $1 million in the past 12 months through my Stripe account connected to my ClickFunnels page or landing page or funnel or whatever it is. So all I have to do to get a ClickFunnels 2 Comma Club award is to create a digital product on my own ClickFunnels website, let's say for $50,000, a $50,000 consulting course. All I have to do is get a high limit credit card like an American Express, and I just buy my own product. So if I create a $50,000 course or consulting package or whatever and sell it to myself 20 times, that's $1 million in revenue. Okay. So all I have to do is do that 20 times, and it shows $1 million transacted through Stripe. And every time Stripe pays back my account, I pay off the credit card and then do it again. Now, Stripe charges you about 3%. 3% fee for that. So if I transact $1 million through my Stripe account and my ClickFunnels account, my actual cost is $30,000. So at a very surface level, we can say that I could easily go out and buy a 2 Comma Club award, and it only cost me $30,000. I know a lot of people that would pay $30,000 if they could to be able to have that on their resume, right? But then I could use a cash back card. I could be using a card that gives me 1 or 1.5% cash back. So it gives me 1% cash back. My total cost is only $20,000. If I get a card with 1.5% cash back, then my entire 2 Comma Club award only cost me $15,000. And I know for a fact personally, people that have been on stage at ClickFunnels, 2 Comma Club, buy my course, and they spent $15,000, never sold anything to anybody, and they got that reputation. So again, not beating up on ClickFunnels. I'm just saying, like, there's a real life example. A lot of you have seen these 2 Comma Club award winners that never actually did anything. And it creates this scourge. It creates this like horrible, unrealistic expectation that e-commerce is a gold rush, get rich quick scheme, and it's not. So again, we're not beating up on e-commerce. I'm not necessarily beating up on ClickFunnels. I think they got a lot of really cool stuff going on. But my point is, don't buy into this really amazing dream of I made $1 million, because most people that sold $1 million didn't make $1 million. There's a huge difference. And when we understand what is realistic, then we can start planning for the future and creating something that actually is sustainable, valuable, and is going to be there as a deployable asset for us in the future. What do you think, Norm?
I agree 100%.
Yep. So I don't know what the big takeaway. I guess the takeaway, if we had to summarize this live, it would be don't buy into the hype, because a lot of times the hype is not realistic. Don't think that sales volume equals profit, and understand that to be profitable, sometimes you got to go a year without profit. Like, it is a slow build. If it was easy, everybody would do it, right? It's not an automatic cash machine. We have to put in time. We have to put in resources. But people that I personally know after 2 or 3 years, and I've sold businesses before, but I know people right now that are exiting their businesses as we speak, that spent 2 or 3 years as a part-time job on Amazon, and they're selling them for multi-millions of dollars of cash plus earnouts. It's huge. So it does work. But I guarantee they didn't make any money in their first year. And I guarantee they never went on Facebook and said, oh, I made $2 million this year because I had $2 million in sales. So rant over, so to speak. But I think it's important stuff to be paying attention to.
Good rant, Tim. Good rant.
Thanks. All right. Well, Norm, everybody, if they want to get a hold of us, you guys keep posting in the Private Label Legion Facebook group. It's a free group. It's heavily moderated. We don't let a bunch of bull crap in there, and a lot of really great, helpful people. If you want to engage with Norm and I on a more personal level, check out the Centurion League. It's our group coaching and mentoring program. It's really just as valuable from the other members it is from us, but we have something pretty special there. You can check it out at thecenturionleague.com, or just go to privatelabellegion.com and you'll see a button to check out the Centurion League. Anybody that's going to be at Prosper in Vegas or the women's conference, the Empower Women's Conference, come say hi. Norm is officially busting out of Canada. He's going to be down there in Vegas with us. I haven't seen Norm in about a year and a half in person. So we're
February 2020.
Awesome. February of 2020, February 1st of 2020. So not even the end of February. So if any of you are going to be in Vegas, holler at us, let us know. We'd love to say hi. And if any of you will send us a private Facebook message, say, hey, we'll be at Prosper, we'll send you a Private Label Legion t-shirt. You just have to promise to wear it one of the days. That way we can recognize you and we'll feel all warm and fuzzy that people are wearing our shirts. But send us a private message, say, hey, I saw you guys on the Legion Live today. I'm going to be at Prosper. Hook me up with a shirt and we'll make that happen. Any other closing thoughts or words, oh bearded wise one?
There, it's a cough.
That's
just perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
No, I think go into things cautiously. One of the other things, don't listen to 100 people online. Pick a few people and tap into them and, work with it. It's just going to muddle your brain up if you've got 1,000 different strategies coming in when you're trying to sell on Amazon. Other than that, do your best. And it's not hard. You can make a lot of money selling online businesses.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, thank you guys. If you're watching the replay of this on YouTube, make sure to give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and share this around. If you see it on social media, share it to any groups you're a part of if you think there's any value here. We love you guys. We appreciate all of you, and we'll see you next week on Legion Live.